The start of a 3-match suspension denies Tranmere's John Aldridge the chance to add to the 24 goals already scored. So Ian Muir, whose career was once threatened by a knee injury, is recalled for only his 3rd game in 4 months. Well, Tranmere's historic day as the last Merseyside representatives in the 4th round of the FA Cup has forced a couple of gambles with fitness. Pat Nevin has had constant treatment on an ankle injury and wouldn't have played in any other game. And fullback Ian Nolan, who was rushed back from a 20-match absence for the Oldham replay, still isn't 100%. Ipswich try to resist becoming the 2nd Premier League side, beaten at Prenton Park with the same team that drew 1-1 with Sheffield Wednesday in midweek in the Coca-Cola Cup. Mickey Stockwell is still out, Geraint Williams moves to number 4, and Frank Yallop is in for his 4th appearance of the season. Keith Cooper of Pontypridd is this afternoon's referee on an afternoon which is really blustery, but at least the driving rain of the morning has now abated. And the number of bets placed with local bookmakers forcing them to install Tranmere as favourites to win this match against Premier League opposition. Vickers underneath it. McNabb didn't get hold of it. It's Morrissey. Nicely on the ground. Muir. Morrissey. He looked up for a target and didn't find Malkin. Johnson laid it back. Muir. Mungall. Morrissey. How quickly they close him down. That's a good ball up for Muir. Took a deflection. Malkin's in on it. Good stop by Baker. Irons to drive it back. Ward will clear finally, and Ipswich have survived a tricky moment. And it's Kiwomya now away down the right. Marked by Vickers. Johnson arrives. This is Dozzell. Again Vickers with a good clearing header. Yallop. Higgins. Malkin and Linnigan together. That'll got to be a foul, and the referee, Mr. Cooper, may feel that merits a yellow card. Yes, he's calling David Linnigan, the Ipswich captain, over to him, and it certainly looked as though the lanky Chris Malkin had got the better of the defender, and if he'd been left to get round him, technically might have had a free run towards goal, because there was no other defender between him and the goal, although it was a good distance. Yellow card, just over 15 minutes gone. Morrissey takes it. Well, he slipped, which is why he lost out. Again, Baker tries to keep the ball low to aid the distance that he can kick it. Dozzell waiting for it to drop, and it's not a good policy on an afternoon like this. You've got to attack the ball. It's gone straight out. Well, that's a close shave for Ipswich. There was a fortunate rebound. Attempted clearance, which hit Moyer, and then dropped nicely onto the chest of Malkin, and that was a good point-blank save. Walk forced to use his keeper again. Vickers. Nolan available. Gets round him. Good bit of football by the left back. Now can he cross decently? Nevin has it. Back to Nolan. This time it's in the air. Morrissey, great header back by Morrissey. Oh, Nevin! Coming in at the back post. Tranmere lead. Big smile to light up the face of the Scottish international Pat Nevin, whose presence on the field was in doubt right till the 11th hour. What a good strong header back by Morrissey. Walks clearance, which only played it into the path of Pat Nevin. 18 minutes gone, and Tranmere lead the Premier League side. Plenty here for Ipswich to look for, but that's gone right over the top. Nevin's 10th of the season. Club record signing from Everton back in August. Walk's attempted clearance just fell perfectly for the little Scot. And he's played in cup finals for Everton against Liverpool back in '89, but I'm sure he'd count that goal among one of the most important that he scored. And Baker almost sold short. And Ipswich are finding what Oldham found in the last round in the replay. It's an awkward place to come to, Prenton Park. Tranmere with the distinction of having played at Wembley 7 times in the last few seasons, courtesy of the centenary tournament and playoff finals and Leyland Daff finals. And the only prospect of a Merseyside team getting to this season's Wembley final in the FA Cup, with both Everton and Liverpool dumped in the 3rd round. And if they can beat a second Premier League side here, well, maybe the dream won't seem so unrealistic. Nevin. Thompson who put a foot in. There's certainly been no sign of the ankle injury, which made Pat Nevin's appearance in doubt. Mungall available, number 5. Didn't need him. Muir. Oh, he's turned well, Muir. Malkin! The rangy number 9 got to it. He's just looking at the referee. I'm not quite sure what he's querying. It's Tranmere's throw. Maybe he felt that it went behind for a corner. Mungall knocks it in. Morrissey tries to dig it out, but the whistle's gone. He claims that it hit him on the chest, and he's got the mark to prove it. Well, that's a little ball knocked in for Muir, who turns well. Malkin, who tries to get on. It came off the keeper. Was he claiming a foul? Dozzell's header on. Guentchev. Dozzell. Williams, who's broken through, needed a better ball to Kiwomya, but this is Gavin Johnson. Well struck. I think Nixon took his hands away when he realised it was going over. It's well covered by Eric Nixon, and in fact he elects at the last minute just to drop his hands. Walk. Baker sliced his kick. Morrissey just let it go. Tranmere throw. Tranmere have only suffered 1 defeat in the last 12 games. That was away at Barnsley, and only beaten here at home at Prenton Park once all season. Oof. Mungall was obstructed by Neil Thompson. The whistle has gone. Free kick is given. And that's given Tranmere a free kick in a very central position. Now McNabb on the ball. Irons is there, so too is Muir. 5 in the wall for Ipswich. Muir hits it. Oh, it dipped. It looked as though it was going to sail over with quite a bit to spare, but it dipped at the end. Baker forced to push it over. Oh, very precise. Nevin with the corner. This is Kenny Irons. Full-blooded. Walk. This is Malkin. Nicely down for McNabb. Mungall. Malkin, he's taken it and he's turned and he didn't quite get free of John Walk, did he? But maybe Nevin will. Malkin, just wide. And with just over 5 minutes to go to half-time, Tranmere within inches of going 2 up. Linnigan's attempted clearance went nowhere at all. He's managed to keep it in play. Thompson. This is Dozzell. Back flick by Guentchev, cleared by Vickers. Linnigan. Thompson. Nevin. Steps around Johnson. Great ball for Malkin. Still Malkin. Oh, it nearly got away from Clive Baker. Chris Malkin had done really well to hold off David Linnigan, but it just forced him to come further and further to the right. And what a great ball too by Nevin. Forced wider and wider by the defender. Not quite beyond the dive of Baker. Kiwomya. Guentchev leaves it for Dozzell. Neil Thompson. Out wide to Whitten. Kiwomya gets the better of Vickers. Dozzell didn't get a connection. And the whistle goes to end the first half. Just the 1 goal from Pat Nevin after 18 minutes. Tranmere second in Division 1 with several opportunities to make it 2-0, but Ipswich will discuss in the dressing room too that they created opportunities and will certainly feel that they can do better in the second half when they'll have this really fierce wind in their favour. A threatening sky over Merseyside and Tranmere threatening to dump Ipswich out of the FA Cup and reach the 5th round of the competition. What would be only the second time in their history. The last time in 1968 they were rewarded with a fixture at Everton, which they lost 2-0. Of course that can't happen this season, both Everton and Liverpool already gone. Morrissey continues his torment on the right. That came off the defender. Tranmere force a corner straight away. They've never really got to grips with Morrissey. Now to take this corner. Mungall comes short to him. Morrissey. Whatever they had in mind didn't quite work. Yes. Maybe they'd have done better to have knocked it in first time. Helped on by Whitten. Was really holding in the wind, and as it was knocked forward by Dozzell, Whitten was offside. Dozzell, this is Higgins. Irons. Nolan. Walk. Irons, we can run through it. Nobody can quite get the ball out. Nolan. Oh, good football, Nolan. Here's a chance. It hit Linnigan's heels. He wasn't sure where it was, and it took all the pace off it. But little Ian Nolan, player of last season, a former non-league player with Marine, just danced through then when others had failed. It's an absolute swamp, that little section of the pitch. Cuts inside Walk, and then as he tries to drive it right across the edge of the 6-yard line, hit the heels of Linnigan. Guentchev. Kiwomya leaves it for Dozzell. Higgins. Linnigan changed his mind. Well, Baker looked as though he had plenty of time, but he made a bit of a mess of it. It hit Muir and fell to Nevin. Little ball through for McNabb. Can use Nevin again. That may not go out over the wind. Walk. Higgins. Morrissey. Great ball through for Malkin. And Linnigan who took it off him. Oh, there's an Ipswich break on now. Johnson. Whitten, the best chance they've had. They have never got the better of Eric Nixon. And he makes good goalkeeping look easy, doesn't he, the big man? Steve Whitten looked as though he'd done all the hard work, but just look how much he spread himself, Eric Nixon. He made himself massive. Just nicked away from Guentchev. Yalla. It's only a throw. Yalla. Whitten, Dozzell, right foot Dozzell. That was the only place they were going to beat Eric Nixon this afternoon. It was right into the top corner. It was a real scramble in a quagmire of a goal mouth. Dozzell showed his qualities, controlling it with his left foot, right into the top corner. Kiwomya on the left, faced by Higgins. Twists and turns him. Dozzell to help orchestrate things. This is Gavin Johnson, driven in hard. Didn't go out of play. Now Yallop can cross. McNabb. Goal kick is given. 15 of their 31 matches this season have been drawn by Ipswich, and Mick McGivern would be happy to see that again here. Well, Thompson just stepped up to take it off Morrissey. Now Kiwomya away, he'll get to this. Nixon's come right off his line, he's beaten the keeper. Oh, it's hit the post. It counts. Guentchev gives Ipswich the lead, and you'd have to look back at Eric Nixon, who took a decision to come streaming off his line when Kiwomya was put three, hit the post, and then just sat there and waited for the Bulgarian to arrive and score his second goal in English football in his 8th game. McNabb. Malkin looked as though he was held. Nevin. Nolan. Gets in a good cross. Martindale. Morrissey. Well, was that an error of judgment by Eric Nixon? And the referee, Keith Cooper, has checked his watch again, and the whistle's in the mouth. That's it. The side from the Premier League have proved the more resilient in the end, but Nevin's goal enabled Tranmere to lead for just under an hour, just over 50 minutes, before Jason Dozzell with that terrific shot into the top corner made it level. And then when Nixon came streaming out of his goal line and Kiwomya hit the post, the ball hanging in the mud and waiting for Guentchev to arrive and put Ipswich ahead by 2-1. A brave fight by Tranmere. It's been a memorable cup run. First time they've reached the 4th round for 21 years. But that's the end of the story, and Merseyside no longer has a representative in this season's FA Cup. Can you just summarise for us, what's it like for the Premier League sides to come here, knowing that Oldham have been beaten here 3-0, and it's a bog of a pitch and there's a gale of a wind?
We think it's a hell of a result. We're really pleased, to come away with a win. I think it was the first team who's won here this season, so, people, thought we would have been the underdogs today, but we're really pleased with the win, and we can't wait to hear the draw for tomorrow.
In the second half, the Premier League side did look to be that bit more resilient, and in fact both their goals came in virtually the last 20 minutes.
Different styles of play, you see. We're playing on a bog of a pitch at this moment. Our pitch generally is pretty good, and it's good to play football. We are a footballing team. We didn't alter a lot from our usual style. Ipswich, I thought, played the conditions a lot better than us in the second half. He hit that ball into the spaces and pushed up and did well. We were still trying to play our football, and we got bogged down a little bit.
Well, we can confirm it was a bog of the pitch. But,
definitely a bog.
They must have missed John Aldridge today, though, Tranmere.
Yeah, I think especially in the first half, there a lot of good play. You feel if Aldridge had been in there, he might have nicked a couple of goals. They were 1-0 up, but having said that, when Dozzell got the equaliser, the better team won in the end.
You've picked a couple of players to have a special look at tonight. First of all, the Tranmere captain and goalkeeper.
Yeah, the Tranmere goalkeeper, Eric Nixon, and a lot of people believe he's a top 6 goalkeeper. Definitely one of the best outside the Premier Division. Mixed fortunes today for him. This is a great save here. He comes off his line quickly. Whitten's on the ball. He's alive and alert. He spreads himself well, and he times that to perfection. And that was at nothing each. 1-0 for Tranmere, a vital save. But this is where he gets it all wrong. The ball gets played over the top here. Now, Kiwomya runs onto it. When we freeze it here, the left back Nolan, all he's got to do is come across, slow the play down, and it allows Vickers to get back and pick up Guentchev, but Eric comes diving off his line and then all is lost. They're a bit unfortunate because this could have hit off the post and gone anywhere. But if he stays in his line, Tranmere are in a bit of trouble, but all isn't lost.
They're doing well, Ipswich, though, aren't they? Because they only came up to the Premier League last year, but they've established a good place there. Now they're having a cup run in the 5th round.
Yeah, it's all going very well for them. They've got some talented players. They've got a mixture of youth and experience. Jason Dozzell, he's a terrifically talented player. England under 21 international. Used to play up front, but he's now in midfield. I thought he was a little bit lightweight for midfield, but he shows here that he's toughened up a bit. He wins the ball from Martindale here, uses his body well, and plays it very, very simple, and that's all you can ask for him. But his strike for the goal was absolutely fantastic. It comes to Yallop on the right-hand side, and he just pings it across, and there's a bit of a scramble. But what Dozzell does well here is he tries and gets a little bit of space. He circles, watch what he does. He takes one step back, one to the side, gets a yard of space, goes for the break of the ball, it comes to him, he goes to it, brings it inside, and no goalkeeper's going to save that. And he's doing very, very well this season. He's created a lot of interest. I believe there's a lot of big clubs looking at him.